Top Gear, where we've got some very sad news because it's the last show of this series. Oh, but also we've got some good news because we're going out with a big birthday bash. Yes, yes.
Yes, as the BBC is very keen to keep reminding us, this is the centenary year. 100 years of informing, educating and entertaining.
Oh, some more than others. But here's a question. What would Top Gear have looked like back in those early days of the Beeb? Well, we've had a troll through the archives to find out.
Hello and welcome to the Top Gear, a programme dedicated to the mechanical road carriage. Today, one will be running one's monocle over this fine filly, the Invicta. Tally-ho! This is the Invicta Type A, and while it's priced at a princely £1,500, that does afford you the very latest in modern conveniences, including a seat, a steering wheel, and brakes. This is the life, and I can probably lose the Jeeves and Worcester accent now. So, most of you have probably never heard of the Invicta, but back in the 20s and 30s, this car was on the same par as something like a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. Real premium badge stuff. And even now, it's worth £200,000, this car, and maybe a little bit more. Now, you may wonder why I'm dashing around the countryside. Well, I've got a plan. Sadly, it involves those two clowns. Firstly, did you not get the memo?
What's the memo, Pad? Come as Jacob Rees Mogg.
Have you seen Downton Abbey? Not many puffer coats.
Oh, I'd be downstairs, they're open.
Absolutely.
That's like that, though. You might be round table.
I've got to say, lads, I quite like it.
I think you look very dashing.
But I've got to tell you, these buttons are working very hard. Very hard.
Why are you wearing white socks?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not.
Yeah.
No.
Now, obviously we're here. Lovely surrounding. It's 100 years of the BBC, and I've got something very special lined up for us. Jump in, my good men. We're going to do a bit of trialling. Yes, we'd be having a crack at one of the oldest motorsports in Britain.
Glad the weather's nice.
Whoa. Hey! Trialling was originally devised as a way for car makers to prove the ability and reliability of their latest models. And today, in sleepy, sunny corners of the great British countryside, you can still find devoted bands of merry motorists battling their vintage cars to the top of steep, muddy hills. This is a competition where it's not about how fast you go, it's about how far you get. And with 5 stages to attack before the day was out, our first job was to get to the start.
I must admit, I'd have liked a seatbelt in the back. So what, Pat, talk us through it, changing gear, what do you do?
Well, going up, you've got to put your foot on the clutch, give it a nanosecond in neutral, then change into your gear. But then coming back down, that's where it gets really tricky. Then you've got to do double clutch and rev it and all that. But I don't know how it's going to go on at the trials because it's driving all right on the roads, but I just can't see it going up a steep gradient.
It doesn't feel like it should be doing that,
No.
does it?
I'm still not sure what these trials are.
Just as well then that we were about to find out.
Morning, morning.
Because Lord McGuinness had managed to coax the Invicta to our first hill. as the other challengers were already making look alarmingly easy, the aim was to get past as many markers as possible on the way to the top. Each hill has 25 points available. To those that can coax and rev and bounce, taking home the silverware, as we lined up for our first go,
Whoa, we're off.
it didn't feel like we'd be troubling the podium.
Whoa, get out there, get out there. Wait, shut up.
Oh, yes.
Go.
No more rev.
I've seen.
No more rev.
Go past 15, man. You don't have to go fast. Watch the tree, Chris.
We're good.
Yeah.
Bit of right hand down now, that's good.
And that's straight.
That's good, we're good work, man. Right, get bumping.
Yes! Well done! Oh, no! Bounce, Fred. I'm bouncing.
Going beautifully. Down there. No more reps. Well done. Well done. Stop! Freaking stop!
Oh, lovely bit of driving.
Who put that though? Jeepers creepers, that was close.
Got past it, all of that.
Hey! Fair play to Paddy. On our first ever trials run, we just bagged ourselves a full 25 points.
That was great work.
What was it like driving?
Oh,
Tricky. Hey, it works all the bouncing, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Time to take the victorious Invicta back down to the road and onto the next hill.
Might be in this, you know.
when have we ever started this well at anything?
Never.
And now that the pre-match nerves had settled, we could start to see what this trials game is actually all about.
Good boys.
Hello.
There you go.
I like the format. So you basically just wobble about on some lanes. You get to show off your new suit. Then we go up to some foresty bits.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Hello.
Everyone's very friendly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, arriving at a nearby farm for the start of the next climb, it was quickly becoming clear that trials is as much a highlight of the social calendar as it is a motorsport. No robotic racing drivers and poker-faced pit crews here. Just lots of jolly people having a jolly old time. This is a lovely thing to do. See this thing?
Yeah.
Two-stroke, single chain. Where's it from? Is it? That's it. Will it?
There you go. Good luck. Good luck.
Look at this here.
WG Grace.
Oh, no messing. Oh, he's not messed about.
He's on it. Did you see concentration?
He's on the back end out and all sorts then.
Better than F1.
Oh,
You
wonderful.
can't get this close to bloody Verstappen, can you? I could touch his beard. It's like Fast and Furious meet
Yeah.
Brideshead Revisited.
Yes. Meet Shameless.
For all the fun and games, though, it turned out our second hill wouldn't just be a stroll in the orchard, because we'd be facing our first restart.
Here we go. Let's see what happens here.
Coming to a complete stop before setting off to tackle the steepest part of the course.
It's tough to get up there. Oh, Fred, look. Fred, take notice.
Oh,
No
easy.
messing.
Wow.
No messing. Now you get one go at this, and any rolling backwards puts you straight out of the climb. So, once Fred had distilled what we'd seen of the pros into a cunning strategy,
3 foot down, I'll bounce.
heading for the start line in the Invicta, McGuinness had decided it was time that Flintoff and I joined him in dressing like them too.
Oh, now we're talking. Oh,
I tell you what, boys.
Now we look like a team.
But while we now had all the gear,
Go on, plan.
as we made our way up to the dreaded restart, it soon became clear we still had no idea.
Don't worry about it, lads. Oh. Right, bounce! For your lives, lads! Bounce it, lads! No chance.
Embarrassing, that.
I think there's a bit of valve coming out of the engine exhaust pipe there.
Ah, well.
I think we got ahead of ourselves on last one, didn't we?
Yeah, we have.
But that looked nothing, did it?
You didn't respect the course.
But you didn't bounce, Fred, at the first...
Bounce at the...
Oh, you didn't
Why
have
is
to.
it our fault? Why is it our fault?
Well, we're a team.
You have to change suspension as
We're a
bouncing
team,
that one.
lads. We're a team.
We were a team.
I think we might have to readjust our assessment of Paddy's driving after that one.
Feel free, lads. Hey, feel free.
And so, with just 11 points from the last hill, heading for the next one, it was our resident racing drivers' time to shine.
Well, not in gear.
No, it's not even it. Oh, no, they're being beat out, Chris. They're being beat out, so...
You got chitty chitty bang bang on, Junior. Like a roller coaster.
So, we're 2 hills down, 25 on the first, 11 on the second.
Been a big one here.
We need some high numbers on this next one. Chris, get us back in the game, pal.
Got the pro in now, don't we?
You're right as rain now.
Oh, 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 oh.
How are you finding the old Invicta, Christopher?
Absolutely joyous.
Hey,
Got a bit to learn. I thought Paddy was driving very well.
I've changed his tune, hasn't it?
No, but I think the old girl wasn't suited to wet grass.
Yeah, definitely. I think if we can get more roads like the first one, it'll go off. It'll go off definitely in the right hands.
We'd soon see, because we'd reached the foot of Hill 3.
Go on, Chris. Hello.
Easy, Chris.
Whoa. Lovely. Keep it going. Nice. Steady as she goes.
And as Baron Harris set to work, the Invicta was looking much more at home. Right, we're back in the race here.
I tell you what, she does well on the dry, doesn't she? Oh my God.
I don't like that tree stump though, Brad. Pad,
No. Lovely night. So let's get to 25.
Let's finish this one.
I'm on it.
23 gives 2 more.
We can live with this. That's it.
Yes, madam.
A maximum points run from Harris had put us back on track and earned him another stint behind the wheel.
You see back in the game, 25 more points?
Yes.
Back in there.
Tell you
Back
what.
in there.
I'm loving these old cars.
And swaggering up to the penultimate hill with confidence riding looks like.
Come on, Chris, we need a bigger one. Oh, is that it?
Oh, it's going quick.
What is this, a time trial?
Doors up, your doors up to the door, Yes, Harris had found his full pouty concentration face, and the Invicta was starting to look invincible.
Hey! This is going to fly up to 25, this, Chris.
Or at least it did. Oh, this is steep. Until we ran into our old friend, the restart.
Go, Chris. Oh, you've got it. You go up, Chris. And jump. Get up. Get up. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Got it, Chris.
start had bested us again. And with a paltry 7 points for our efforts, heading off to the last run of the day, it only seemed fair to hand Viscount Flintoff his first go behind the wheel.
I'm panicking, I'm on a B road.
Boy, you can get third now.
No, I don't want to.
What's your strategy for the hill?
Staying first.
And after a Flintoff double declutching masterclass,
What you do? You got no. Double clutch it. Third.
we eventually ground our way up the final stage of our trials roller coaster. In no way prepared to reach the finish.
Here we go, son.
Right, no messing about.
Man and machine in perfect harmony. Go on, son.
Here we go, lads.
Be very
Gonna
careful.
do some bouncing.
Oh, easy.
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 That's it, we're up.
Right-hander, Fred. Right-hander. Right. Oh, I don't like this.
Yes, that's it. Come on, 19.
Come on, Fred. That was fantastic.
You have to, I tell you what. You better get running. When this car stops, I'm going to knock you out.
A top marks finish for Flintoff, and our first taste of trials had finished on a high. Had we won? Of course we hadn't. Worth another go though. You betcha.
All things considered, I think that went pretty well.
It was a nice day out in the country. And I love that all over the UK, every weekend, people are doing daft things in cars. And I don't just mean trialling, banger racing, sidecars, hill climbing. Makes me proud to be British.
Certainly does. Proper eccentric motorsport. And if you're part of, and I mean this with the greatest of respect, an even weirder race series than that one, let us know and we'll be right there.
And now we must move on, because every now and again we get a polite email saying, forget about all those supercars, how about reviewing a car normal people might actually buy?
We do get a lot of those and they're not always polite.
But they've got a point.
Yeah.
Well, it's about time we tackle some affordable stuff. So we sent Chris off to do a proper, sensible, real-world car review in the world's most sensible country, Norway.
Yes, with snow on the ground for 6 months of the year and a reputation for handing out the strictest driving fines in Europe, Norway is a country that demands a sensible, no-nonsense approach to motoring. And that makes it the ideal spot to bring you a sensible, no-nonsense, compact crossover.
This is the new Ford Puma. It starts at around 23 grand, and right now, it's one of the most popular cars on sale in the UK.
And straight away, it's easy to see why.
For starters, it looks quite good. It's a bit froggy up front with the eyes, but other than that, I like it. And inside here, you don't feel deprived. I've got all the functions of a very expensive car. I've even got a heated steering wheel, which given we're in Norway, is a lovely thing. And because it's a Ford, it goes down the road beautifully. I can't come.
You can have your Puma with a slightly bigger bite.
This is the ST model with the 200 horsepower, 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol engine. 0 to 60, 6.5 seconds. 137 miles an hour flat out, and best of all, in these fuel-troubled times, it'll do over 40 miles to the gallon.
The Puma ST isn't just fast and frugal, though. You'll also be pleased to hear that it has everyday usability built in, too.
There's more boot space here than you get in a Ford Focus, 456 litres. Do you wanted real-world reviews? I'm giving you a real-world review. And down here is something Ford calls the Mega Box. It's a waterproof hose-out tub for anything that you might need to store in a waterproof hose-out tub. It's even got a drainage plug just in case anything you put in there suffers any seepage.
So there you go. It really is the complete package.
Well done, Ford, for making the Puma affordable to run, and if you get the ST version, pretty decent to drive too.
But if you're thinking the ST still doesn't quite have the zip you're looking for from your next compact crossover, there is also a slightly faster one.
Yes, it's a rally car. The Ford Puma Rally 1. I've never driven anything like it. It's a monster.
This Puma has been built to compete in the World Rally Championship's new era of hybrid racing. And that means that M-Sport, the legendary British rally engineers that built it, have boosted its 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine with a battery-powered electric motor. All working together, this Puma produces over 500 horsepower.
The performance is outrageous. This thing will do 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds on pretty much any surface. I'm braking, so the harder I brake, the more I charge the hybrid system. It makes for a wild ride, it really does. There she goes. Now let's feel the hybrid. Push the pedal down. Oh my lord! How does it do that on ice?
Part of the reason, of course, is that unlike the Puma ST, the Rally 1 comes equipped with 4-wheel drive. Plus, there's a super strong steel space frame clad in lightweight body panels that makes the Rally 1 a full 100 kilos lighter. However, the extra performance that all this and that modern hybrid power brings does come at a price.
It costs about £750,000, which I know is quite steep, but right now I can't think of anything I'd rather spend the same amount of money on more than this. Whoa! You'll notice I'm using gear lever. Not seen that in about 25 years in one rally. The regulations want a more mechanical analog car this year. They've certainly got one. It's a fascinating car to drive because in some respects it's exactly what I expected. In others, it requires a lot more management, and I've got so much respect for the drivers now. They really aren't just arcade game machines. They require concentration and more skill than I've got. Oh yes! Listen to that!
Or, in fact, don't. Because another advantage of the Rally 1 over its more affordable cousin is that on the regular commute between your rally stages, you can drive in clean, green silence.
Nothing to see here, just driving along in my electric World Rally car. It's a genuine hybrid. Ooh, wonder if M Sport kept the mega box. We could maybe stop for provisions.
The Rally One can do 12 miles in EV mode, so long as you drive it gently.
Hello.
But it has to be said, if you ever do find yourself behind the wheel of one, driving it gently is the last thing you'll want to do.
To be honest with you, and you might have already guessed this thing's got about as much to do with a Puma as I have a fighter jet. But on these roads, in these conditions, unbeatable, fastest car on the planet. Sensational.
So let me get this right. You went off to review a sensible car that people could afford.
Yeah.
And you ended up driving a £750,000 rally car.
Yeah, apologies, but in my defence, there was some take-home consumer advice there, wasn't there? If you want a small crossover day-to-day stuff, perfect. Puma ST. If you want to enter the World Rally Championship, take the rally car.
Helpful as ever.
There you go.
And now we move on to a question. What's the best letter in mortaring? Do you know, you two? The one on the old boot lid.
Well, this is my kind of question, this is. I'd say R, could be race or rally. If you see R, you know it's going to be something special.
I'm going T. Turbo. Touring. You like
All
touring?
right,
Love a touring.
strong guesses, both wrong, because the best letter in mortaring is this one. M. As in BMW's legendary M Division. The German engineering geniuses who've been churning out some of the world's finest fast cars for 5 decades. This year, 2022, marks 50 years of the M Division. So, to celebrate, I thought I'd invite along some VIP guests. Oh, what a guest list this is. Oh yes, over the years, the M Division has given us some proper legends. But just think, one of these would be here today if Ford hadn't been so annoyingly good. You see, back in the late 60s and early 70s, Ford was dominating world motorsport. Its GT40 was a 4-time Le Mans winner. And in the European Touring Car Championship, its gorgeous Capri was busy trashing rivals like BMW. Hell-bent on getting their own back, in 1972, BMW poached Ford's motorsport boss, Jochen Neerpasch. His brief apartment would become the M Division. And here's what they cooked up first. This is the precursor to all those wonderful M cars to come. This, my friends, is the 3-litre CSL, also known as the Batmobile. Nobody can take my car. Lightweight, tuned up, with proper working downforce. It was nothing short of a race car for the road. That wasn't technically road legal. The idea was, you took it on a track, you whizzed round all day humming the theme to Batman, and then before you got back on the road, you whipped off the rear wing, put it in the boot, and off you went. Obviously it was the 70s, and obviously no one did that. Happier times. The Batmobile was an instant icon. And what better way for the M Division to follow it than with a supercar? The M1 arrived in 1978. proved to the world that it wasn't just Italy who could do the whole slinky mid-engine performance thing. But, pretty as it was, unreliable to boot, the M1 was really a bit of a sideshow. Because the car that would come to truly define the M badge would arrive a few years later, in 1986. The birth of a legend.
The original BMW M3. It might be nearly 40 years old, but this is peak M car right here. Pure, raw, joyous M.
Just like the old Batmobile, the M3 was shot through with motorsport DNA. Suspension, brakes, gearbox, all of it came from the racing world. It might have had just 200 horsepower, but trust me, that was all it needed.
It's light, it's sparkly, it feels alive. Get out for a walk. Get down, Chef, get down.
In fact, the only downside to the original M3 was that it did attract a certain crowd.
Hello? What's that? No, I'm in an M3.
Yes, the 80s saw the arrival of the Yuppie. Those wannabe wolves of Wall Street all needed something cutting edge and continental to match their monster Motorola's and flash Rolexes. The M Division's finest was the perfect choice.
Which meant the M3 did gain a little bit of a bad reputation. You know all those typical BMW driver stereotypes? Well, this is the car that started it all. But I can forgive all that because this thing is absolute perfection. Oh.
And now that the M Division had found their formula, they set about refining it. Unstated on the outside, race bred underneath. The next couple of decades brought bigger engines, more power, more speed. And it all reached a bit of a head with this.
The 2004 BMW M5. You see, in the early noughties, BMW's F1 car was powered by a big revvy V10 engine. So some people at the M Division thought, hey, why can't we put one of those in a family saloon?
Well, it turned out they could.
And it sounds like the end of days. This is fast. Whoa! 500 brake horsepower. It'll still spin past 8,000 RPM. And if you take the limiter off this thing, they reckon it'll go up to 200 miles per hour. It's absolutely bananas.
This was the M Division declaring to the world that when it comes to supercar quick saloons, nobody else
knows what the M Division are all about. And yes, over the years they've dabbled with quick SUVs and other odds and ends. But these are the heartland. In fact, you can trace a line right from the original M3 through all of these, all the way up to this.
The new M3. A car that's channeling 50 years of M Division know.
power from a twin-turbo six-cylinder engine. And that's just the start. It's got an 8-speed automatic gearbox, a clever four-wheel drive option. You can configure the steering, dampers. You can even do the brake pedal. It is big, and it is clever. Oh, and did I mention, very, very fast. Yes, you little German beauty!
But on the subject of beauty, it's hard to ignore that massive nostriled elephant in the room.
There's no getting around it, is there? Who signed that off? I know they say beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but come on. Whoever designed that needs to have a long, hard look at themselves in the mirror.
And talking downsides, for a car wearing that badge, there is a bigger one.
It's overcomplicated. Yes, it's fast and it's fun to drive, but you feel disconnected from it. The computer takes over and does everything. So, if you look at it on paper, it's the ultimate machine. But is it the ultimate driving machine? I'm not so sure.
The trouble is, over the years, all cars have become bigger, heavier, and more complicated. And that's where M cars have gone too. But then, every now and again, they go and build a car that lets you know they haven't completely forgotten where they came from. The 1M appeared up back in 2011 as a true spiritual successor to the original M3.
It is good to be back. I used to own one of these, and yes, I absolutely loved it. Let's see if it's as good as I remember. Oh, here we go. This is what it's all about. No fancy dampers, no multi-mode brake pedal. Just a dinky car with a punchy engine, rear-wheel drive, and someone clinging onto the steering wheel for dear life. Yes!
What made the 1M so special was that with just 335 horsepower, it was never about raw performance. Its M-car genius was all in the feel.
Oh man, I love the little short gear changes, I love the steering wheel, I love everything about this car. You're totally connected to it. You know what? When they get it right, they get it right. This thing is absolute driving joy. Why did I get rid of it? Well, I know why. My wife told me to. Happy birthday, M Division, and here's to 50 more glorious years. Get out there.
Dennis, how could you go and do that without me? BMW M cars is my specialist subject. I can talk about them for hours.
That's exactly why we didn't send you.
Looking down the line, they're not getting any prettier, are they?
I mean, what's going on with these grills, Christopher?
I don't know, the car looks better if I stand here.
Yeah. Why, though? What was the reasoning behind it?
Well, they apparently designed it after Fred Flintoff. Two massive teeth down the front there.
Come on, he's got it. Go
I've got feelings.
What? Now, we must move on. To talk for your traditional petrol head might sound like bad news.
But don't worry, because we're here to tell you that the future of fuel is starting to look very interesting.
Let's begin with battery power. Because for a long time now, if you wanted to go green, batteries have been pretty much your only option. But let's be honest, it's only just lately that they've really started turning heads. Take the sensational Back to the Future styling of Hyundai's Ioniq 5. The Mustang Mach-E, a family crossover that packs nearly 500 horsepower. Or, how about a car that looks to be heading where no EV has gone before?
The Cupra Born. Strange name, interesting car. This could be the first ever all-electric hot hatch.
Hey! Now it's based on VW's not very hot ID3. But over in the Spanish sunshine, Cupra, the new sporty wing of Seat, has been busy heating things up.
Compared to the ID3, this is lower, the suspension's sharper, and this particular one is around 200 horsepower. All very hot hatchy. Whoa!
What's a bit less hot hatchy though, is that old eco problem of lugging around a big, heavy battery.
The weight's all low down, which means it's pretty flat into the corners, but it's just missing a little bit of zip, a little bit of zing. Nah. It's more of a lukewarm hatch. Tepid, cool to the touch hatch.
So no, at just over 30 grand, the Born isn't going to tempt you away from your Golf GTI. But it does show that more affordable EVs are just starting to have some fun.
The Born is injecting a little bit of Latin flair into the beige world of electric hatchbacks.
But up at the top of the range, EVs have been putting on a very convincing show for a while now. Mostly thanks to this. The Porsche Taycan. The unbelievably quick, incredibly capable four-door saloon that has been embarrassing petrol performance cars since it launched a couple of years ago. And now, to keep the great battery charge advancing, the Germans have sent in some backup. The Audi e-tron GT. This might just be the first electric car you can buy on alone. It's an absolute knockout. And it's beautiful inside too. They've not gone Tesla minimalist here. It feels like a posh Audi, an even posher Audi than normal. Underneath the fantastic fit and finish, the GT actually shares the same chassis, gearbox, and a lot of the same technology as the Taycan. Do you know what? It might actually be better to drive than the Porsche. It's a bit more comfortable. The whole chassis feels just a bit more intuitive. This is an Audi that's better to drive than the equivalent Porsche. I mean, the world's been turned upside down. There are no rules anymore. What there is instead is power. And the version has over 500 horsepower, and this isn't even the fastest one. But this is still absurdly quick. It really is. You don't need a car faster than this. And here's the best bit.
crusty old journalists like me have complained for years that Audis don't oversteer. Watch this. Straight away, massive rear-wheel drive skids.
So, new electric cars? No longer boring. And it doesn't stop there. Because whether it's a charged up Cobra, a battery-powered Beetle, or a Defender that swapped diesel for DC, there are now loads of companies out there giving timeless classics a new lease of life by swapping their fumey old engines for batteries and motors. Although it must be said, for your traditional petrol head, this is...
What do you reckon about having an electric motor in what?
I just don't know. I'm so confused. I love my 911 and I love it because of the sound of the flat six.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is what I lie awake at night thinking about. So
I was going to say, if we're going to drive one a piece, I think I know which one you're going to go for.
I've got to have a go at it.
Do you know what I'm going to do? The old E-Defender. I'm going to give it a whirl.
Why has it got exhaust pipes? Has yours got exhaust pipes?
What?
Sacrilegious as it may seem, though, what cannot be denied is the performance this kind of transplant yields. As we shall now demonstrate with a drag race. Electric classics versus their old fossil-fueled equivalents.
3, 2, 1, oh my God! I've just been done by a Defender. I'm in a Defender! Whoa! Wow, look at it go! But now I'm going... Wonderful! And now we're going away! Over the line at 120. That's quick.
Oh my!
That Defender off the line. Good Lord.
Oh, here's the little bud. Here he is. Too late now. Already got it.
Okay. Electric demolishes petrol in a straight line.
I have just literally left a Porsche for dead in a Land Rover Defender. What a time to be alive! I want one of these. Can you imagine just someone pulling up at the side of you at the lights, thinking, oh, I'll burn this off, and you're like, will you?
And the best part is, when it comes to the future of fuel, batteries aren't even the most exciting tech going. Time for our next Fuel of the Future with Professor Harris.
Hydrogen. The most abundant element in our universe. And if you can get it on its own, something you can power your car with. Mixes with oxygen from the atmosphere. There they go, mix. And through a complicated exchange of protons and electrons and other things, you get, this is the clever bit, electricity. That and that equals that. Isn't it brilliant? And the only byproduct, the thing that comes out of your exhaust, is this. Good old H2O. Water. Now, if you've extracted your hydrogen using green electricity, the whole process is carbon neutral. And the even cleverer thing is, hydrogen packs a punch. Now, in rocket A, we have 2 grams of petrol, and in rocket B, we have 2 grams of hydrogen. And we're going to find out which produces the biggest bang. Serious science, this. So, first up, petrol. Lovely, explodey petrol. Okay, and now, hydrogen. It's a
clear win for hydrogen. The only problem is, while a few companies are developing this exciting, elegant technology, up to now, the most exciting, elegant car that anyone's found to put it in is this.
The Toyota Mirai,
Yes.
it essentially just drives like an electric car.
But that's what a hydrogen car is. It's just storing its energy in different ways. A normal electric car conventionally has a battery. This stores hydrogen and then uses a fuel cell to convert it. You have a tank out the back, and you can fill this thing up like you would a petrol car. It's a liquid, so fill it up, away you go, a couple of minutes, 400 miles of range. Try that in an electric car.
No, I must say, that is quite a good thing compared to electric cars. That's what drives me out of electric cars.
Exactly.
It's the amount of time you got to... So where do you fill up an hydrogen car?
There are fuel stations all over the country.
How many?
12.
12.
12.
Last year,
Yeah.
there were 15 people born in this country
Yeah.
given the name Lucifer.
No, that word.
So, you've got more chance of running into a baby Lucifer than you have of finding a hydrogen fuel station.
Now, it's got its downsides, okay, but these are the upsides, all right? First of all, we're not carting around a great big battery, which is really, really heavy. Second of all, you read all these stories about digging up nasty metals from the ground and all the stuff that goes on with that.
Cobalt.
There's none of that, okay? And thirdly, you can use the existing petrol network. So you go to BP, where there's LPG, there could be hydrogen. Come on, get on.
Stacks up, no denying that. So why have they put it all in something so vanilla? We need a hydrogen supercar.
I agree. Can we now do something more exciting? Because I am getting quite sleepy here.
Yes.
Indeed we could. Because what if there was a way to go green without giving up on the combustion engine? A way to go green without giving up all that noise. That drama. That soul. Introducing synthetic fuel.
Look at the go on that Lamborghini!
Man alive.
What a machine. These synthetic fuels, they're pretty big news at the moment. The fuel that's in this car was the brainchild of genius Formula 1 engineer Paddy Lowe. So I am literally Paddy powered, but in the right way.
What very clever engineers like Mr. Lowe have managed to do is create a petrol made not from oil, but from carbon dioxide captured from the air and hydrogen extracted from water. The result is a fuel that, when burned, emits only the CO2 that was extracted to make it in the first place. So, as long as you're using green electricity to power production, it is completely carbon neutral.
And the really good thing about this is it'll work in any petrol car, no matter how old or how new. You can even mix it with your regular fuel. It's absolute genius.
And it might just save some of these old dinosaurs from extinction.
Oh, they say the Aventador will be the last Lamborghini without electrical assistance. The last free breathing pure V12. And just listen to that noise! 759 horsepower.
This new GT3 just ticks all the boxes. Flat 6, normally aspirated, revs to 9,000 RPM.
Before you go far, we should point out a couple of drawbacks.
Main issue being, you can't just pop into your local petrol station to fill up with synthetic fuel. This stuff is experimental. It's extremely rare.
which means it's expensive. And if you want a number at the moment, about 10 quid a litre.
But while we wait to see whether synthetic fuels will one day become affordable enough for the masses, what we do at least now know is that with the sun setting on fossil fuels, New Dawn is starting to look very bright indeed.
Very informative, boys, but what I want to talk about is these electric classics, because if I was going to get an electric car apart from that Rivian, that's how I'd do it. All the fun, all the looks, none of the maintenance.
And I've got to say, the first 5 seconds of being in this car, that acceleration, compared to everything I've driven on Top Gear, that's the most fun I've had ever. Aston Martin Victors, Ferrari Romas, DB5s, this, for that first 5 seconds, was bonkers.
You know how he squeaks? That was peak squeak.
That was
It
was
was
full
amazing.
squeaking.
And also, synthetic fuel. Hey, I'm all over this.
He's been on the internet again.
Oh no,
Here we
it's all
go.
the fun of a petrol engine, completely green. That's the magic bullet right there.
It could be, but it just depends if they can make it cheap enough, doesn't it? If they can, then we might be having a lot more fun in silly petrol engine cars for some time to come.
Fingers crossed. And on that unusually optimistic note, we must end the show and the series. What? Oh, it's like being in pants all that. We'll be back later in the year. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.